What's up, guys? For today's knife review, we're talking about the Spyderco Amalgam. Before we get into the review, let's do a quick wrist check. Currently rocking my Citizen Tough, an excellent watch. I have done a review on this one, so make sure to check that one out. Going back to the Amalgam, let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with our first talking point, which is price. So looking on the Spyderco website, MSRP is $270. However, on the street, like Blade HQ or Amazon, you're looking at $190. The score on price, I will give it 5 out of 5. That's just because looking at the steel material, handle material, all that stuff, all the things that go into the cost of making a knife, I really don't think we're getting ripped off here. A quick note, public service announcement: if you are active duty military, law enforcement, or first responder, just go ahead and contact Spyderco on their website and they will teach you or show you how to get their 50% discount. It's 50% off of MSRP, but either way you're still coming out on top, paying a little bit less than you would retail price. So yeah, score again 5 out of 5. Next talking point is dimensions and weight. So let's go ahead and show you a quick 360 of this knife. If I can zoom in here for you, you can see that there are skeletonized liners in there, but going off of the blade, so for the blade length, you're looking at 3.8 inches with a cutting edge of 3.4 inches, a handle length of 5.1 inches, and then an overall length of 8.9 inches. The weight on the Amalgam is 4.3 grams or 4.3 ounces or 122 grams. So definitely not a small knife. However, considering the size and the dimensions at 4.3 grams, you really can't get much better than that. I have no issues with it, so I'm giving it a score of 5 out of 5. Next talking point is the blade. You are getting a CPM S30V, there we go, CPM S30V blade with the Spyderco plain edge, drop point, and full flat grind. If you've never experienced the Spyderco flat grind, it is phenomenal. It's a blade that just wants to slice through things. And I have had no issues with it. I've always had excellent results with their knives or with their blades. So for me, I'm giving the blade score a 5 out of 5. Some people are totally against S30V, and people will point out that there's something better out there. Of course, there's always going to be something better. This is just from my personal preference. I have had no issues with their blades. Next talking point is the handle. So handle material, it's a carbon fiber with a G10 laminate. G10 with a carbon fiber laminate. So very good, solid material. The handle is not squishy at all, so you can't, if you put pressure on either side, it's not going to give on you. And that's just something that really bugs me on some knives, is their handles give way when you give it some pressure. Not going to affect the overall performance of the knife, but it's one of those things where I like a handle that's solid, because it just gives me that warm and fuzzy feeling that I've got a quality knife. So that is what you're getting with this one. What else for the handle? You've got, that's about it for the handle, really, actually. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And the reason why I'm taking away a point is because I do like the handle material. I prefer FRN or maybe like a polished G10, considering that this is at least in my opinion, a gentleman's folder. It's like an oversized, beefy gentleman folder, so I think it would look super clean with polished G10. So 4 out of 5, still an excellent score. I really have no issues. That's just if I could pick what I wanted out of this knife. Next talking point is the deployment and lockup. So as you can see, you've got the Spidey hole and then the flipper tab here. So with the flipper tab, it comes out like a dream. So deployment is fantastic. Even Spidey flicking it is also very easy. I will say, if you're new to the Spidey flick, it just takes like 30 minutes of practice. Just sit down in front of the computer or TV and practice your Spidey flick, and you'll get it that same day. Deployment's excellent, and lockup is fantastic as well. You do have the Spyderco compression lock, which is a fantastic locking mechanism, very strong. Obviously not as strong as a triad lock, but for what it is fantastic. Really, outside of gross abuse of this knife, it will survive anything. Zero blade play, laterally or up and down. So, for the deployment and lockup, I give it a 5 out of 5. Next talking point is ergonomics. This is a fantastic knife to hold. It's considering that this was designed by a mechanical engineer, I'm sure that he put hours and hours and hours on getting the perfect handle, and I gotta say, he did an excellent job. Right here, that choil and how it, I don't even know what this is called, maybe a hand guard, but man, it just welds to your hand and it feels so comfortable. There's really no issue that I can find as far as the shape of this handle. I want to say that it's perfect. Really, I do. What else we got here for the ergonomics? So the only issue that I have as far as the grip is you do have this part right here. I guess if you really want to choke up on it, I would have liked to have seen the jimping come out just a little bit more, so that way you can kind of rest your thumb right there. Again, being super nitpicky, when you get a score of 4 or above, that's like the knife is already pretty good. Everything else is just in my perfect world. So I'm going to take away half a point because I would have liked to see the jimping gone up a little bit further, but don't read into that too deeply. It's still a fantastic knife, has excellent ergonomics. So 4.5 out of 5 for ergonomics. Next talking point is pocketability. You do have the pocket clip here. It comes standard with a tip up carry for a right pocket, but you can adjust it to either tip down carry on either side or tip up carry on either side. So that's always a great thing, the fact that you have 4 different ways to wear it. I will take away half a point because for me personally, I prefer the Spyderco wire clip, and I think that would just look super clean on this knife. I think the wire clip makes Spyderco really stick out, gives them that sleek, professional look. So 4.5 out of 5 for pocketability. Other than my personal preference of having a wire clip, it's fantastic. For a large knife, it's slim in your pocket, no issues. Next talking point is comparisons. So let's go ahead and show you this knife with some other knives out there. For the first one, I've got a CRKT Carnifex. I don't even know if this is well known. I don't know if a lot of people own this knife, but I absolutely love this knife. It's very cheap. Well, not cheap. Very budget friendly. But as far as size goes, they're pretty much the same, so that's why I wanted to have these side by side. And in my opinion, they're both kind of like somewhat heavy-duty, gentleman or elegant folders. So like they can take a beating. They're very tough, but they still look elegant. So there's the Carnifex, and I've got one more here that I think is kind of similar. This is the Benchmade Contigo. Obviously this one is like the Spartan of knives. This is on a different level, I think, at least, but I'm just putting them out there because they are similar in size. So if you have a Contigo and you like it, you like the size, then you will definitely like this one. I will say ergonomics and comfort is much more comfortable and enjoyable on the Amalgam because the Contigo is very aggressive on their texturing and their jimping. So yeah, that's it for comparisons. Last talking point is my overall thoughts and should you buy this knife. So starting off with the average score, taking all the scores and averaging them out, we come up with a score of 4.7 out of 5. I think that might be the highest number or highest score I've given to a knife so far. This knife is just wonderful. The second I got it out and I held it in my hand, it was like my hand had found its soulmate. It is just wonderful. The blade is fantastic. It's basically like like what you're used to with the Spyderco flat grind, like with their paramilitaries, but it's just bigger. So sometimes, bigger is better, and in this case, that is exactly the case. My only complaint so far, and I'm pretty sure that this is a reoccurring theme with all the other amalgam owners is the flipper tab getting in the way when you close it. Not a big deal. Again, everything that I'm saying, all the negative things that I'm saying about this knife are just nitpicky, but should not affect your overall opinion of the knife. So when you flick it out, and I mean, you can see when it closes, the first thing that you're going to feel is that flipper tab coming up. So it just takes some practice. Really, you have to get used to closing it and then moving your finger like in a swift motion. But once you get it, it's easy, and it's very easy to become proficient at. My only problem is that it's just one extra thing that you got to focus on. So again, super nitpicky, not a big deal. I think they probably could have fixed it by moving this compression lock tab, disengagement tab, just a little bit down, maybe like ½ an inch, and that way you wouldn't have an issue. But I don't know, I'm sure they had their reasons for why they designed it the way they did. I'm wondering if a button, like a button lock, probably would have worked for this knife. Maybe, I don't know. Just my thoughts. Again, I'm just trying to express these things to you so that way you see them coming when you do get the knife. But again, really, this is the closest thing to perfection at this price range that you can get if you're into large knives. I love large knives. I love large pocket folders, and this is really, it's tough, but it's elegant. It looks clean. Really, what else can I say? So anyways, that's all I got to say for the Amalgam. I hope that this video helps you with your next knife purchase. Thank you for watching, and please, please, please subscribe. It really does show me that you guys are watching and supporting the channel, and it motivates me like nothing else to put out more content. And to all my existing subscribers, thank you for your support. You guys are the reason why I do this. So, yep, anyways, thanks for watching, and tune in for my next episode. Alright, bye.